The Tour de France 2024 showed us something we never witnessed before, the lack of breakaways in sprint stages. Since the beginning of cycling, in every cycling stage there should be a breakaway, getting off the peloton at the beginning of the stage and getting back close to the end or even winning the stage. But lately, especially on this year's Tour de France, we have seen no breakaways at all on sprint stages, especially the flatter ones. It's easy to conclude that something has changed in cycling, but what? While we always had breakaways on the flat stages, those were very unlikely to succeed and were mainly for sponsors to get visibility in front of the peloton. They were most likely to get caught by the peloton, and this year, for the first time in more than a century, the breakaways and the riders decided, no, we aren't going to do this anymore, we don't want to waste the energy of our riders just for the sponsors to be visible. While that is true, that makes those stages a lot more boring to watch, because there's nothing happens from the beginning until the last 500 meters. The first idea, and the easier one, would be to make the stages shorter. Instead of 200 kilometers, making stages shorter than 100 kilometers on sprint stages, and maybe making 2 of them on the day. However, we already know that this is very hard for cyclists to do 2 stages on the day, and 1 short stage per day would be too short and make the mountain stages really long and very hard for the cyclists. So this isn't really an option. Next, we can think of another option, like adding something during the stage that makes it interesting, like climbs or even crosswinds. The crosswinds are unpredictable, so there's always the chance that the stage is going to be boring, but the climbs are always there. They could even add more points to 4th and 3rd category climbs to make it more likable for riders in content for the polka dot jersey to go to the breakaway, trying to get their points. But they would make the stage really hard for the sprinters to make it to the end, and it would change a lot of the race, making the sprinters stop coming to the Tour. Given this situation, they could probably create a specialized classification in purple or orange for the breakaways themselves. For example, the rider who has most time on breakaways gets to wear the purple jersey, for example. However, there's still a problem with that even with the breakaways, it could just be a monotonous race with a breakaway about 2 minutes ahead of the peloton, getting caught at the line, still without anything that would make it less boring. But TDF came with an idea to solve that. The idea of an intermediate GC classification that would be hugely beneficial for the breakaway riders and even make a lot more interesting to watch breakaways even when they don't succeed. For example, for this classification, in a 150 kilometers race, you would have, for example, 3 points where you would take times, kilometer 50, 100 and 150, the finish line. You would take, for example, the rider number 1 and the rider number 2. The rider number 1 took 1 hour from the kilometer 0 to the kilometer 50, and the rider number 2 took 1 hour and 1 minute. That means that the rider number 1 has 1 minute of advantage. Some more kilometers passed, and at kilometer 100, if the rider number 1 took 2 hours to get from the kilometer 0 to kilometer 100, and the rider number 2 took 2 hours and 1 minute to get from the kilometer 0 to the kilometer 100, that means that will be 2 minutes because of the 1 minute from the kilometers 50 and the 1 minute from the kilometer 100. If you add that, you get 2 minutes, and that would be this classification. You could translate that in points or something like that and get a classification just for that. For example, in a purple or orange jersey, like I said a while ago. A classification like this would make a lot more interesting to watch these kind of stages, and even the hilly stages, because of the breakaway trying to fight with each other during the stage for the purple jersey, for example. Basically, we would have 2 GCs, one for the breakaway riders and one for the main GC contenders. And the breakaway riders would of course have to be really good rollers to be able to get advantage on the flat stages, making it a lot more interesting. We could see a lot of fighting between riders on this kind of stages, not only on the mountain stages. These were my ideas to make the flat stages without any breakaway. Make them get breakaways again and make them more interesting. If you have any other ideas, tell me in the comments and tell me what did you think about this video and about these ideas, and if you think that this would work on the pro peloton. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe and like, and see you next time.